This was Rick Burleson. Loved him because I just thought he was just this gritty guy, and he played all out. And you were just telling me about other players, like Trot Nixon, another guy that they loved here.
Yeah, well, the fans, they appreciate hard work, right? In Boston, they appreciate the guys like Burleson that are fiery, the Rooster.
Yes.
And they like Trot Nixon, the way he would grind out every at-bat, the way he would run hard to first base and through first base. The way
you know what? You say that, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to ask you then, well, what was the love affair with Manny Ramirez? Because it was like there was sometimes he just say, "I'm just Manny being Manny."
Manny was the most interesting player because he was quirky, right? He was unique, right? How about Manny when he dived into the stands and give the fan the ball, right? Or take the ball back from the fan and throw it into the cutoff man. You didn't see that very often, right? Huh?
He just had that. Some guys have that flair of whatever it is. It can be as wrong as it can be, but then all of a sudden it endears them to the fans in a way that even I look at a guy like Big Papi, as great as all these other Red Sox players were. I still look at some people right now in this generation think that Big Papi was maybe the greatest Red Sox to ever play the game.
Well, Big Papi was a great player. And him and Manny together, they were the most dynamic middle-of-the-order hitters since Gehrig and Ruth,
Wow.
right? So if you take a look at the record book, there were no two hitters as good as Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz during their time here. And that's one reason the Red Sox won those championships, right? You got those two guys in the middle of the lineup. That's a two-headed monster, right? Are you going to pitch to the left-handed power hitter that's patient at the plate, or are you going to pitch to the righty, And those guys were big-time difference makers. But you could say that David Ortiz was one of the great Red Sox players, and certainly one of the most clutch players. Right, David Ortiz could get a hit when you needed a hit, and he got some big hits in playoffs. He got the clinching hit against the Yankees to turn a series around. Manny Ramirez, he was the MVP of a World Series that he was in. So, I mean, that's the kind of players the Red Sox fans.
But see, like. I would, and well, I'm going to give you a little bit of my baseball knowledge when I say that. But then I look at Fred Lynn and I look at Jim Rice. Would they complain seeing how dangerous they were as hitters?
Well, those guys were great players. I remember when Jim Rice came up, he was heralded as the top prospect in the system. He was a first-round draft pick and awesome strength. And then I think shortly thereafter, we brought up another top player. Now, Freddie Lynn wasn't as heralded as Rice coming through the minor leagues. He wasn't as high a draft pick. But when he got here, it was evident to everyone, this guy's a special player, how easy he could do everything, how he could play center field, how he had a sweet swing with power. And he got to be a fan favorite quickly. And, that's a pretty good comparison of top players from another generation, right? Rice and Lynn.
Well, thank you.
Compared to Manny and Big Papi. You'd be hard-pressed to find another couple of Red Sox, better than those guys.
Hey, this is comedian J.L. Covan, best known for his impression of Donald Trump. I'm going to be at City Winery in Boston for one night only, July 26th at 8 p.m. Hope to see you there.